The people who hurt you the most are often the ones closest to you. And that's exactly why you think you have to tolerate it. There is behavior you should never tolerate from anyone. Not from strangers. Not from friends. Not even from family. And the moment you make exceptions, you teach people how to treat you. Badly. Most people think family gets a permanent pass because of blood, as if DNA erases consequences. That shared history earns them the right to cross lines. That unconditional love means unconditional tolerance. It doesn't. Love without boundaries is not love. It's self-destruction. And the Stoics understood something most people refuse to accept. You don't owe anyone access to you just because they're related. Marcus Aurelius had family members who betrayed him, manipulated him, used him. He loved them. But love never made him weak. He didn't tolerate disrespect, because tolerating disrespect doesn't preserve relationships. It destroys you. What you should never tolerate: disrespect disguised as honesty. When someone insults you and then says, "I'm just being real," that's not honesty. It's cruelty with permission. Manipulation disguised as concern. When someone guilt trips you for having boundaries. After everything I've done for you, that's control, not care. Violations disguised as jokes. When someone mocks you, hurts you, crosses a line. And when you react, they say, "I was just joking. Relax." That's not humor. It's training. Training you to tolerate disrespect without reacting. Conditional love disguised as family. When someone only respects you if you obey them. When affection comes with strings attached. When their love depends on your compliance. That's not family. That's a transaction. And you don't owe loyalty to transactions. Why people tolerate it? Fear of conflict. Fear of being called cold, ungrateful, selfish. Fear of losing the relationship. But here's the truth they don't tell you. If enforcing a boundary destroys the relationship, it means they only valued you when you were easy to control. You didn't break it by standing up for yourself. It was broken the moment they decided you didn't deserve respect. Epictetus said it clearly. If you tolerate disrespect, you invite more of it. Every time you let something slide, you set a new standard. And that standard becomes your ceiling. So if you tolerate being insulted, expect more insults. If you tolerate being manipulated, expect more manipulation. If you tolerate being guilt-tripped, get it every time you say no. You're not keeping the peace. You're training people to disrespect you. The line you draw: here's what you do not tolerate from anyone. Disrespect to your face. Manipulation behind your back. Guilt for having boundaries. Punishment for saying no. Conditional love based on obedience. Gaslighting when you call out bad behavior. Dismissal of your feelings. Violations of your space, time, or energy. These are non-negotiable. Not sometimes. Always. Not from strangers. Not from friends. Not from family. From no one. And the moment someone crosses that line, you respond. Not with anger, with enforcement. How to enforce it. Step 1. Name the behavior without emotion. That was disrespectful. That crosses a boundary. I don't accept that. No long explanation. No emotional spillover. Just identification. Step 2. State the consequence clearly. If this happens again, I will distance myself. I won't tolerate this behavior moving forward. This conversation is over. No threats, just information. Step 3. Follow the row immediately if it repeats. No warnings, no second explanations, just action. Reduce contact. End the conversation. Remove access. Because boundaries without enforcement are just suggestions. And suggestions get ignored. What happens when you enforce? They will test you the moment they feel your strength shifting. They will push harder to see if you're serious. They will escalate, guilt trip, manipulate. You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. Family doesn't treat each other like this. Ignore all of it. Those are manipulation tactics designed to make you doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Your boundary is valid because you set it. You don't need their approval to protect yourself. And if they can't respect your boundary, they lose access. That's not cruelty. That's consequence. Some will adjust. Once they realize you're serious, they'll change their behavior. Because losing access to you costs more than respecting you. Others won't. They'll double down, play victim, cut you off first. Let them. Because anyone who punishes you for having boundaries was never safe to begin with. The family exception myth. Here's the lie most people believe. But they're family, so I have to tolerate it. No, you don't. Being related to someone doesn't grant them immunity from consequences. Blood doesn't excuse abuse. Shared history doesn't justify disrespect. And unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional tolerance. Seneca wrote something powerful. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Notice, he didn't say, tolerate people who destroy you because they're related. He said, choose people who make you better. And if your family makes you worse, you have permission to create distance. Not out of hate, out of self-preservation. You can love someone from a distance. You can wish them well without giving them access. You can honor the relationship without sacrificing yourself to maintain it. That's not abandonment. That's boundaries. Why this feels hard? Because you've been conditioned to believe that boundaries are selfish, that saying no makes you a bad person, that protecting yourself is the same as hurting others. It's not. Boundaries are not punishment. They are protection from people who benefit from your silence, and protecting yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. The people who call you selfish for having boundaries are the same people benefiting from you having none. They don't want you peaceful. They want you compliant. Because compliant people are easier to control. Let that sink in. They don't want you selfless. They want you controllable. And the moment you stop being controllable, they lose power. That's why they fight your boundaries so hard. Not because you're wrong, because they're losing access. What you gain by not tolerating peace. Real peace. Not the fake peace that comes from avoiding conflict. The real peace that comes from protecting yourself. When you stop tolerating disrespect, you stop carrying the weight of other people's dysfunction. You stop replaying conversations in your head. You stop justifying yourself to people who don't respect you. You stop burning energy on relationships that drain you. And that energy, you redirect it toward people who deserve it. Respect. When you enforce boundaries, people learn to respect you. Not everyone. Some will leave, but the ones who stay will adjust their behavior because they value access to you more than they value crossing your boundaries. And that's how you build relationships based on mutual respect, not fear, not obligation. Respect. Clarity. You stop wondering if you're overreacting. You stop second-guessing your boundaries. You stop asking permission to protect yourself because you've drawn the line, and everyone knows where it is. That clarity eliminates confusion, and confusion is where manipulation thrives. The Stoic truth. Marcus Aurelius dealt with family betrayal his entire life. His own relatives plotted against him, used him, manipulated him, and he didn't tolerate it. Not because he was cold, because he understood that tolerating dysfunction doesn't fix it, it enables it. Epictetus was a slave who gained his freedom, and one of the first things he taught was this: you are not responsible for the actions of others, only your response. Your family's behavior is not your responsibility. Your boundary enforcement is, and if they can't respect that, the relationship changes, or it ends. Either way, you survive. Because survival doesn't require their approval. It requires your discipline. The final line: do not tolerate disrespect from anyone. Not from strangers who don't know you. Not from friends who should know better. Not from family who think blood erases consequences. From no one. Your boundaries are not negotiable. Your self-respect is not conditional. Your peace is not up for debate. And anyone who can't respect that doesn't deserve access to you, family or not. Because the closer someone is to you, the more dangerous their disrespect becomes. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you protected. This doesn't make you heartless. It makes you wise. This doesn't make you selfish. It makes you strong. Because the strongest people are not the ones who tolerate everything. They're the ones who know what they won't tolerate and enforce it. Calmly, consistently, permanently. So draw the line, enforce the line, and stop making exceptions for people who wouldn't make them for you. Not even family. Especially not family. Because the people closest to you can hurt you the most. And if you don't protect yourself from that hurt, no one else will. That's not cruelty. That's self-preservation. And self-preservation is not optional. It's survival. Master this, and you'll stop being drained by people who don't deserve your energy. You'll stop sacrificing yourself to keep the peace. You'll stop wondering if you're doing the right thing. Because you are. Boundaries are right. Enforcement is right. And protecting yourself is always right. No exceptions. Not even family.